Hi, dear students and learners. Again, I am going to narrate a story about my life, about the real incident or real passes of time I passed with my mother in the same company. Actually, in this part of the video, I would describe about how did I do the work with my mother in the same companies, and what kind of the feeling and experience I had there with my mother. As I already told you that my elder sister was married, she used to do the work one of the companies, famous companies in Okhla Phase 1, Techund. But when I came back to Noida, thereafter we searched for the job. My father had never been successful in the job because of his poor health. So my mother searched for the job and she started doing the job because she had a little bit habit earlier and she engaged in the job. When I saw again the plight of the condition of the family members, I joined hand with my mother and I started contributing her. She used to took me early in the morning with her, I think at 9 a.m., 8 past 30 a.m. And there was so much haste and hurry up while catching the bus, boarding on the bus. The bus used to be overcrowded in those days. We used to pay fare only for 2 rupees from Noida sector 44 to Noida sector 2, 3, 5. These sectors we used to do the work with my mother. And also one of the contractors, she was a female contractor. She took us to sector 58. It was the garment or export company, and the cotton work was going on there. Actually, in all these videos, why I am going to narrate the story about my autobiography, to bring the student or the learners, to tell them that life is not easy. Only if you are reading the book, don't think yourself, don't compare your knowledge, your bookish knowledge with the real life situation. When you come out in the market, if you are not successful in any private or government service, because you know that there are very few of us, they are successful despite after the higher education. So I want to just pre-warn you for your further education and preparation, that life is not so much easy as you think. If you are reading only the book, you are sitting in the room, you have all the facilities, every day's requirement are fulfilled by your parents. Don't think that the life would be the same in future. The life can take any turn anytime. If your father and family members are not already rich, they don't have the money, it's very difficult for you to survive in future. Though your parents have a lot of money, but if you don't have the ability and manner to run those finance, you would destroy all your previous properties or the things your parents acquired with the help of toiling, work hard day after night, and they lit the midnight oil in those days. Considering all these things, I just create such videos for the learners. Some of the learners think that sir is very comfortable nowadays. He doesn't have any worry. He doesn't have any concern. Now he is living happily and he does not have any problem. He does not have any kind of embarrassment. Friends, I want to tell you that if you want to bring your happiness in future, then you have to work hard today. When I was 13 or 14 years old, I started doing the work. And this is why today I am in the relaxation mode. If I am in any part of the world, if I am in any part of India, then I would create money. Because I know the ability, I know what is and how to earn money. I knew since my childhood when I was 13 and 14 years old how to earn money. What is money? Why is there the basic necessities of the money in everyday's life? And what happened that hurdled for my further education and future education? So just I am going to connect the story with my mother. My mother used to love me a lot. She used to also scold me. She scolded several times, and there were some quarrelsome nature in the family members due to the poverty in the family, because the single room we used to live with younger, little cute younger brothers and sisters, and they were very unaware about such happenings was going on in those days. Due to my father's failure, or due to his poor health, there was not all the basic necessities were difficult to be met in those days, and we had to purchase rations and all the daily life ingredients or articles from nearby public stores or any private stores there. But it was we had to borrow, we can say we had to borrow from there. We did not have the complete month money for purchase the ration. When I started doing the work with my mother, what kind of the scene I had in those days. And I also tell you that what is the nature of the man towards the woman when any woman and girl start doing the work in the company. There is I saw that there were very few persons, they did not have to pass the negative comments towards the female when they used to do the work in such factories and companies. Even in the offices, they were harassed and they had to pass several comments, they had to face several comments, negative comments, and they used to pass lewd remarks to these females. Because I was with my mother, so sometimes I lost my temperament, and I had to mingle, I had to mess up with the supervisors and seniors in the factory or the companies. In one of the company in sector 2, Noida, there I worked only for 1 to 2 days. It was raining and I went to a tea stall. It was the same tea stall, I think, where we started our same tea stall after 1 year, because my father did not have the job and he started. So we went to the same tea stall owner and he managed for a job. We both, mother and son, went to the company. I think it is in C block, it is nearby C133 sector 2 Noida, Diamond Export. It is nearby there in the same intersection or lungs there. And there we started doing the work. It was, I think, there was the packing of cartoon. Cartoon used to be in open, but we had to just manage the tape on the cartoon, and we had to just give it a shape, proper shape. What happened that after doing the work, I think 1 or 2 days, I messed up with the supervisor because he started passing the negative comments in the factory. I left company, my mother kept on working, but after some days my mother also left. My mother was not happy when I left the job, because after several searching of the job, we got the job in the company. My mother started feeling completely negativeness, and she told me that son, it is time, and the time can play any game with anyone at any place. So don't worry, we are working, I am working, so you have, if you are working with me, it's not any bad thing whatever you are doing. When my mother came to the room in the evening, that time we had the discussion about the company's misbehavior of supervisor. Supervisor's nature was not correct, and I had to mess up with because of that. Yes, actually, I paused because there is a background sound. I decided to stay or pause for a little while there. Okay, I am again going to just connect the story there. So we had to just, my mother left the job. Again, we started doing the searching for the job. Again, we got the job in one of the company. I think it is D4, sorry, D4 Sector 2 Noida. It is a sweater factory where in those days there was not computerized machine, and mostly the flat used to be in action. We had to just draw the flats from this to that direction, and there were the fabrics which used to be there inside the machine, and it used to create the sweaters in those days. That time I was I think 15 or rarely 14 or 15 years, yes, that time. My one of my dearest ones, he used to love me. He was uncle, he was I think 40 or 50 years old. There he used to call me, Chatu, come here, bring a bottle of water from the fridge, because even I think May, June was the month, and it was intense heat, and we 2 and 3 helpers there, we used to just bring waters for our seniors. Once upon a time I asked him that because we had the salary of 1800 per month, so I asked my uncle, can you say me that why does the person who is sitting in the office, he is in air conditioner, but we are in intense heat? He is getting more money than me, so what is the difference between the two? That time he told me that he is getting so much money because he is well educated, and you and I are not well educated. This is why we have the undervalued salary. What happened that the same thing I kept and read and in my mind, and I never forgot for future action. So we did the work there in the same company for 2 months again, and I think that there I also messed up with one of the supervisor. When one of the supervisor, without any reason, he scolded me in the presence of my mother. My mother was doing the work helplessly there beside me, and I used to be with her whenever she used to go. We used to have the lunch in the same company. Sometimes in the winter season we used to sit on the, go to the roof, and there we used to have the lunch. Actually, the life is not so much easy as today's generation and the youngsters to think that tomorrow he would have the good business, tomorrow he would have the good job, tomorrow he would set up such factories, tomorrow he would go to USA, European countries. Friends, just try to understand that everyone's fortune doesn't brighten up as you think in so much actionable deed there. You have to start toiling up. You have to start working hard today. Thereafter, what happened that I went with my mother to one of the cotton company. There we started doing the work. I used to have the exhaustion, and due to the exhaustion, because I was underage, I had not the practice for doing the work. I had to just stand near the table and started picking up the cotton fabric. That time with a comb we used to just take all the fabrics out from the lower part of the garment, and I think it was 2 and 3 rupees per piece it costed. One piece we used to do in half an hour or 1 hour. It was on the piece rate sometimes, or it was sometimes on the salary basis, but in those days we were on the salary basis, because we were under a female contractor. I think her name was Sheila Dixit, and she was a good female contractor, and she helped us in the company. So I think that it is sufficient for today. There is so much background noise. We will again discuss how did I pass the life with my mother, and again I will tell you a new thing, how did had the pleasurable moment with the mother. Now my mother lives in village with the father. We are with my younger brother, and we are living the life happily. Thank you so much. Bye then.